One small step for film. One giant leap for Interfellas.
What's up, everybody? We are the Interfellas. We're two Italians from Jersey who just have an extreme love for movies. We launched this podcast because we felt like we just have such an appreciation for film, and we're avid Letterboxd users. So I know that's definitely something that we said, why not start one and see where it goes, get to share our opinions. And the goal that we both discussed for this really was to get more movies from other people, like recommendations, so we can start to expand our horizon on
expand our horizons, expand their horizons.
Yeah.
And we'll be focusing on everything movie related. So Interfellas is your spot.
Yep. I'm Nick, and ever since I was a little kid, I had a huge love for movies. I would go to the movies pretty much every weekend with my family or friends. And the first movie I remember vividly seeing in theaters was Revenge of the Sith. I went to my grandma's house because she lives by the movie theater that we are near. And I remember being extremely upset when Anakin finally turned evil, but regardless. I have a full-time media company outside of this, so I'm always filming. I'm an aspiring filmmaker on the side as I film for clients and client work. My Letterboxd top 4, I should go over that. My top 4 is The Godfather. I think that is the best movie ever made. I'm a little biased, I'm Italian, we're from Jersey, but I just think well-roundedness, it is the best movie ever made. Wouldn't be mad if you said Godfather 2, but I am a Godfather guy. Godfather, Interstellar, Interfellas, come on.
Come on.
Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark is another one that I just think is a perfect movie. I don't really see any flaws in it. I love Lucas, Spielberg, and obviously Harrison Ford is great. And my last one is Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. That is my favorite franchise. I put specifically Empire Strikes Back, but to me, Letterboxd, if you put one of the saga, you're just saying that's my favorite saga. So that's a little bit about me, and you'll get to know me throughout the creation and dropping episodes of this channel. But yeah, that's me. Take it away.
Yeah, my name's Chris. I'm also an avid moviegoer. I say that I'm bilingual. I speak English and fluent in movie quotes. Probably a little bit too much. I think everything I do in life, I quote it with the movie. My Letterboxd top 4, I agree with Nick, The Godfather, one of the best movies ever. Probably the best movie ever in terms of impact. The Dark Knight, my favorite movie. Never gets old. Heath Ledger, best acting performance in my opinion. I have A Few Good Men. Tom Cruise, love the guy. Probably recite that court scene over and over in my head. You can't handle the truth. And then my last one is The Other Guys. My favorite comedy, Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg. Another one that I quote every single day in my life. So we're just excited to have you guys, and looking forward to having some fun.
Yeah, let's dive in.
Let's dive in.
So for our pilot episode, we're going to be, you see what I did there? That was pretty good, wasn't it?
Good.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about Top Gun, all three, well, 3 of them technically, because they're saying that they greenlit a Top Gun 3.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the first 2 and whether we think the third one is worth even making.
Worth it, what we think is going to happen in it, who knows, a lot to discuss, so I'm excited. When I think about the most anticipated movies to ever come out, I think Top Gun Maverick was probably number 3. I think
for you or for
me.
Okay.
Endgame's hype was unreal.
Yeah.
Then Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yep.
But then Top Gun, me and my dad watched that movie growing up, I don't know how many times.
Really?
And because of the delay from COVID, original release of 2020 pushed to 2022. Talk about living up to the expectations.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to jump into the sequel right away, but just the cultural impact that both movies had, it's really unbelievable.
One thing I'll say about the sequel, and then we'll go back to the original, I felt like we're living in the sequel era, so it was one of those sequels that we felt like it was unneeded.
100%.
The story was done.
Where could you go, right?
What's the point?
Yeah.
There's no substance. And a lot of people did critique it for, it didn't really further the plot that much, but I disagree.
It's hard because, even in the first one, there's no, military storyline. It's not okay, this is the war in the Middle East, you know what I mean?
Right.
So the second one, same thing, and one of the things we liked most about the second one, you could say it if you want.
Yeah, I think we'll get into that, but what I do want to say, though, is I felt like it was an unneeded sequel that surpassed my expectations. First of all, cinematography, again, we'll get into it. Let's talk about the first one.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'm kind of relying on you to brush it up. The only thing we're inverted. I think that's the only
were
thing.
inverted?
Yeah. And obviously I know the volleyball scene, and obviously, Goose, R.I.P.
Yeah.
I think what's really interesting about older movies, and like I felt like they focused on making such a memorable theme. And I think they focused on like the theme will tie into the movie and will sell it better.
Are you talking about like the theme of the movie, or the theme song you're talking
The
about?
theme song.
The
and
song.
like
Oh,
the
100%.
the theme song. Like they focused on making, like when that electric
my
guitar
God.
comes in and you see the,
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge movie score guy.
Yeah.
And every time I'm on a highway and there's nobody in the open road, whether it be morning or night, I put that thing on and I fucking gun at 90. That, and like, the soundtrack alone of the first movie, even the second one was good, but like the soundtrack alone of the first movie, 1986 came out, so just banger after banger, like Danger Zone, Playing with the Boys, Kenny Loggins, all that. You can't beat that sound. I honestly think it's one of my favorite movie soundtracks.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Like, total playlist.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. No,
That's cool.
I have a saved playlist on Spotify of all the Top Gun ones, but
I think the main theme is like the one that sticks out in my head, and it's funny because once you hear it, you can see the shots from the movie.
Yep.
I'm a little biased because, again, I haven't seen the original one in a long time, but I know, like, cinematography-wise, the way that they achieved the newer one, it's like night and day. But, again, you can't judge it based off time period. I know you wanted to mention recruitment, like you were talking about.
yeah, like I just know, talk about cultural impact on pop culture, but also the influence it had on recruiting people to join the Navy.
Yeah.
To join the Navy, right? Like so many people wanted to become fighter jet pilots after that.
Yeah.
And it kind of made like being in the military cool. Not that I was alive. I'm speaking from experience, but I just know, and even the second one that came out, like I know like someone who became a fighter pilot because of that. And
Well, they said the recruitment went up again from the second one.
Of course.
Yeah. I
mean,
think that, don't quote me, but I'm almost positive the military has some sort of, I don't want to say sponsor, but I'm pretty sure that they like help the movie get made.
the second one?
Like
Or
just
both?
all, I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of military movies that they know have big budgets.
Yeah.
But I'm almost positive that the military, I don't know if they, like obviously they let them use the equipment. You know what I mean? I'm almost positive that they do somehow
I wouldn't be
donate
surprised.
or like sponsor. I don't know if it's sponsor. I guess vendor. Like
Yeah.
a vendor of the movie. I could be wrong, but I feel like it would make sense.
That
like
would make
recruitment
sense.
goes up. Why would you not invest into the future of the
I
military?
mean, what's been going viral, like the Transformers scene of like, Alpha, Delta, Kilo. And everybody's like, where did my military affinity come from? This scene.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing with Top Gun, right?
Honestly, as crazy as it sounds, I think my favorite scene from the first one is like when Goose does pass.
Well, yeah.
I just think it's such an impactful moment in the franchise. Well, now it's a franchise, but in the film. And I think, like, even the way it was shot, I think having, like, I don't even know what it was, that green coming out of the plane.
Yeah.
I just the way it was, like, composed and the differences in that. And I think, obviously, that was the pivotal moment of the film. I would say that was definitely my favorite part of the movie, which is the saddest part, but I think that was done the most. And
obviously the most heartfelt part plays the biggest role in the rest of the movie, right? Because it's Maverick's bounce back to, step up.
And even in the second one.
Yeah. Same thing, yeah. And also it was cool to see in that scene, like, Iceman, like, he's like this asshole the first 2/3 of the movie, and then you kind of see, like, his affinity for Maverick, like, yo, I know you just lost your wingman. Like, I know that's not easy. And then to see them become boys at the end. Yeah. Full circle. Again, that's why we love that movie. Yeah. That's why I have the shirt. Yeah.
I don't know if it's bold to say, but I'll say, like, Top Gun walked so Top Gun Maverick could run.
Oh my God.
I feel like just Tom Cruise knows how to fucking make a great movie.
Well, that's...
And even if you don't, because again, the only flack that I saw online was a lot of people, like, criticize the substance of the plot. Like, they were like, why can't they just... I saw a comment, it was like, why can't they just blow up the SAMs and, like, just drop... I'm like, it's a movie, right? You have to have some sort of entertainment. There has to be risk involved. Otherwise, if you're sitting there, of course they could click a button and it's over. The whole point is it's a movie.
It's the same
for an
thing.
adventure.
It's the same thing with, and same actor, Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible. Like, people complain about what he's
Mission
doing.
Impossible,
Stunts.
you mean?
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, he's literally there to do absurd shit.
Right.
So, like, you can't be mad at him for stopping 7 nuclear warheads. Same thing with Top Gun 2. Like, people, I don't know if people complain that Maverick doesn't pass when, he shot down from the jet.
Yeah.
But you can't... Tom Cruise is the best actor in my opinion in terms of like everything he does for the movie industry.
I wouldn't say, in my opinion, he's like the best actor, but in terms of his impact on movies and film, I know a big thing that, and this can segue us, is the fact that he waited to make sure we're releasing this movie in theaters. I don't care if it costs us more money. This movie is meant to be seen in theaters with the sound systems, with the right screen. Go to an IMAX theater and experience this movie. And obviously it panned out well for him to do that.
I think top 2 movie going experience. The first time seeing that movie and having like my share shake and like the like callback to right away Top Gun theme and Danger Zone to come on as the fighter jets are taking off again, like talk about getting the blood flowing. I felt like I was in the fucking plane itself. I'm literally shaking. I'm like, yo, this is sick. I looked over to my buddy and my dad and I was like, yo, this is what we waited for. This is what was it, 86 to 2022, like almost 40 years. Like, oh my God. And like you said earlier, like talk about living up to the hype. Like I'll never forget that movie theater experience. Just the overall, like you said, cinematography. Another great score. Like Lady Gaga helped contribute to that sound playlist, and it was great. Then his own personal plane in the end. That was sick.
That was sick. And something that I definitely want to dive into, because I'm like I get excited about the cinematography, how it's filmed. They developed cameras for Top Gun that they used for F1 as well.
That's right.
F1, same director, right?
Joseph Kosinski. Yeah.
So they built a camera system that you can mount a camera, and again, I don't know how to explain it in words, but essentially you can create and mount a camera and it runs a wire. So the camera body is separate from the glass.
Okay.
So like a camera like that we're using, right? The glass is connected to the camera.
Yeah.
The system that they created, it was good for like compact areas. So like they can mount a camera on the back of the pilot's
the cockpit?
Yeah, his chair.
Okay.
And then it ran a wire to like the camera system. So the camera system would still record the footage, but it wouldn't take up as much space. And that's what they use for F1 too. They use the same technology behind the camera systems.
Talk about Kosinski, like just, that's what I feel like that's like the new wave. Like I feel like everything, like whether it's streamers, like POV, everybody loves that.
We want to feel immersed, right? The whole purpose of going to see a movie is to feel like you escape from
virtual
everything.
reality, augmented reality, all this stuff. That's what everybody wants now.
Yeah, and it gets to the point of where it's like, again, you're never going to get sick of how movies are being made, but it's like taking a POV from the plane is like a perspective that other people won't
ever get.
Right.
Yeah. And
or like the composition idea, it's like...
And that's like where I think Tom Cruise being an advocate for the theater helps so much, because anybody can go on YouTube and watch like a whatever POV from a pilot. Same thing with people do the same thing with roller coasters. But when you're getting, especially like an IMAX experience, when you're like I already said, I felt like I was in the pilot seat. So like that's why, like I said best before, I just think I don't mean acting ability. I mean in terms of
like
what
impact
he does
on the industry.
Yes,
I agree. Going back and watching the movie and like analyzing it, like me just being the nutcase I am, it was very, very difficult to, like, you don't notice that they're sitting in the back.
Oh yeah.
Like the way that they mounted the cameras and the lens and the focal length they used, you can't tell, because obviously they're not flying the plane, like they're in the back. I mean, maybe in some of the shots they are. Like I know some of the BTS, they were flying.
Yeah.
Maybe Tom Cruise,
I was
not the rest
Tom
of
Cruise.
it.
Yeah, he's a psycho.
But like you couldn't tell, and that was something so. Again, it's all camera tricks. It's the trade, how the trade works. You have to hide shit and work around barriers and So again, I think a strong point for in any film really. I love callbacks, Easter eggs, and like cutaways, and that's why Nolan is probably one of my favorites, because he uses those like close-up cutaways for props and things that send messaging. But I think what made me appreciate Top Gun Maverick even more than Top Gun were those little callbacks to the old film.
Definitely.
That added more. Again, it's like everyone's like a nostalgia grab, and I guess that's technically the term.
Nostalgia, but
it's the term, but like I didn't grow up during then, but it still meant something to me.
Absolutely.
I still got the feeling of what those were in the movie for.
Yeah, like the first time you hear, like, he gets kicked out of the bar, and then you hear Rooster start singing, you shake my nerve and rattle my brain. Great Balls of Fire. Like, that song became so iconic in '86, and to bring it back, and, you know how many people freaking grew mustaches that summer of 2022? Like I think the callbacks is what make any movie great.
Yeah.
And how many of them were in this one? Like, you know,
a lot.
Talk to me, Goose. Like, just one of the most iconic lines from the first one, and he brings it back. And what does Rooster say? Talk to me, Dad. Like, it's just, it's chills.
We both, this is what we were talking about prior. I know we are both in agreement that we liked that the enemy was
not mentioned.
undisclosed.
Yeah.
It's just enemy. They were just bandits.
Yep.
You don't know why. You know they're obviously what they're up to, but there's no political, like he avoided, in something that can be so political, he avoided politics. And it's very difficult to do that.
Yeah. Was the sequel needed? No. So like coming out of that movie, I couldn't even tell you a complaint because I had no idea. Like even like, you know, you heard, oh, Maverick might become an instructor. Okay, like how can you make that cool?
Yeah.
But then you bring in Goose's son. And like Miles Teller, great actor.
Yeah.
Then you have Glenn Powell rising.
I was gonna say, I think Glenn Powell did a great job.
Oh my God,
he played a perfect.
Just as good of an asshole as fucking Val Kilmer was.
Yep, shout out Glenn Powell. You're a great asshole.
He is a great asshole. And then Val Kilmer, like another barely being able to speak because of his real life throat cancer. Perfectly done in terms of the character. Like, right, you have him as an admiral now. And you kind of see that Tom Cruise is still stuck at captain because of his immaturity and his loyalty to, you know, wanting to be still a fighter pilot, not command people. And just the impact, his death in the movie, but also his guidance for Maverick to lead this next generation. It was really, really well done because you kind of wondered how they were going to use Val Kilmer when him not being able to talk.
Yeah, no, they did a great job with that. And obviously it was because of the circumstances that he was battling throat cancer in real life, but like even for the film, like using the computer and like just seeing the words like sit there and like the cursor blinking.
Oh my God,
you know,
he
and
points
it's like,
at it.
And he's like, you got to let go. And it's just sitting there and it's like
that. And then when he does the little bit of speaking, because Kaczynski builds for the audience that he can't speak, you know it's an important scene. And then the little nod at the end, who's the better pilot? And Tom Cruise is like, let's not ruin the moment.
He's like, come on. What's great is when you leave a theater and you just know, like, extremely well-made movie.
Like I saw it 4 times in theaters, and I'm gonna see it for a 5th time. When
it comes out. No, we're gonna go again. And I watch, like, that's one of those movies that when it's on TV, I'll throw it on just because I don't have to lock in. I guess because it's not a heavily story-driven, like.
And that's like the beauty of the movie is that like a lot of movies are hard to follow. Like we love Nolan. He's my favorite director. I know he's one of
That's not like a.
No, here's the
passive
plot,
watch.
right? My sister and my mom, they're not movie people at all. They loved it. They're like, I'll go see it again. And I did.
It got the average moviegoer to enjoy the experience again. And I think we were lacking that for so long, and especially hearing the sequels. And then you hear Top Gun, you're like, they can't come up with anything new? But again, it was one of those experiences that when you went and saw it, you were like, okay, this is what a sequel should be, right? And again, whether people like the old one more, the new one more, at least it held up, and it paid homage and justice to the original movie. And it didn't suck. Like, I don't care what anybody says. There's no way that somebody watched that movie and said, this sucked.
No, it was the reason, I mean, not the reason, but like I saw it 4 times. When a movie is good, it lasts in theater. That movie was playing from May to September. It was in the movies.
It didn't hit that streaming in a month.
Oh my God. And that's when you know. Like, it's tough because now movies come out now. There's so many movies nowadays, you don't even know they come out because A, there's no marketing, and B, they're in the theaters for less than 2 weeks because guess what? It goes right to streaming now.
And you know you can wait that month if you're not dying to see it. And you know, all right, boom, it'll be on Prime.
He saved the movie industry. Like, he brought back the theater experience. Between that and then releasing 2 more Mission Impossible since then, like, we have Tom Cruise to thank. So thank you, Tom Cruise.
He put the fucking industry on his back and said,
Well, people criticized him on the set of Mission Impossible because it was during COVID, and he was yelling at everybody because people broke protocol, and he's fucking screaming. He's like, "Am I clear?" And it's like, because he knows the importance of A, keeping everybody safe from a disease, but
Yes.
B, how important it is to make sure that this movie gets made
Yes.
so that the
To
industry,
keep the industry-
actors,
Yes.
writers, directors, everybody to
Keeps
keep their jobs.
jobs.
Oh my God.
Yes. So let's segue, because what I do want to talk about, Top Gun 3, okay?
Yeah.
So I saw the tweet that
Yeah.
it came out, and I was like, let's go. Because especially how
my
Top
God.
Gun 2 was, I
Yeah.
was stoked. But then we got the news that Kaczynski's not doing it.
Yes.
So do I still want it? I don't know. And because it's like, you know what you're capable of using this set of people. Like knowing how Kaczynski would do it, how he did that one.
Yeah.
You know, okay, you can make an even better one. And like now, I get it, maybe give someone new a chance or something, but it's like, it's almost like you have the team that can win you the Stanley Cup and you disassemble it.
Yeah. I think similar. No, I was definitely so hyped for Top Gun 2, right? This one, like, I'm like, okay, they made it like, I really couldn't have scripted. I wouldn't even change a thing about the second one, really. And I'm just concerned, like my first, of course I'm excited, you know what I mean? I love the first two, they're two of my favorite movies, but
Yeah.
where can you go plot-wise to be like, all right, he already was an instructor, and then he went back into the field, right? And I make the joke like, okay, what are they gonna have, Rooster's son? Call sign cock. Like how are you gonna, how many more, like there's only so many family ties. People make fun of Fast and Furious because it's all these family ties and they make 10 movies. Where can you go from here?
Right,
And
well, that's the issue. And again, we felt that way with Top Gun 2. What could you do?
But people
There
did
were still-
float the idea of him being an instructor.
Yeah,
So,
but even still, it's like, I felt like the first movie wrapped up enough to where it was like, where can you go with this
Oh,
franchise? Even this one, like, again, I feel like you can only strike gold so many times, right? The first one,
Yep.
really good movie. Haven't seen it in a while, if I'm being completely honest, but I know I enjoyed it. Second one, I thought was a great movie.
Yep.
I thought it served its purpose, and it brought people back to movies, or back to the theater, and now I sit back and I go, okay, you're not bringing back the director that literally made a great movie. He's not going to have, in my opinion, how much of a role could Tom Cruise, I feel like this is a baton pass, but it's like,
To keep the franchise going, you're
yeah,
saying?
but it's like, so the headache I run into is this being made because the second one did so well and
Yes.
the studio just wants the money?
I think
Or
so.
is this serving a purpose? That's where you think it's
I think it's
the latter.
It's the studio. I think everything comes
Yeah.
down to money, right? And
But again, if you have a good story to tell, you know, movie studios are in business to make money.
yeah, no, I mean, listen,
But you can do both.
listen,
That's where
I'll
I
be
get a
seated
headache.
there opening night. Like, I'm not
Right.
saying I'm not excited for
Yeah,
the movie,
yeah.
but to go back on what you said earlier, like Kaczynski and the cinematography in the second one made that movie what
Yes.
it is, right?
edit,
we
the
saw
cut,
with F1, the realism of almost being, so like, now the concern comes, okay, I don't doubt that they'll come up with a good story.
Yeah.
It's hard to say the word necessary, but how are you going to top Top Gun 2? When
Yeah.
Top Gun 2, people were saying, how are you going to top the original?
Right.
So that's where I'm concerned.
It would pain me to have them make a third one and like you don't bring Glenn Powell back or you don't bring Miles Teller back. You need to keep the story going.
Oh, yeah, I think-
you can't just make a third one and like, oh, they're old
Yeah.
now and like, no.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my opinion. I think make like a movie about, I don't know, Glenn Powell and Miles Teller being like two of the, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like going
it's
on
hard though,
another
because like in
mission.
military, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be different missions, but as a fighter pilot, you're there to shoot down enemy aircraft, or
Right.
you're there to blow up
Right.
a location. So
Right.
like,
it's not
hard.
like a boots on the ground
Exactly.
where you can kind of
Yes.
come up with like different sort of situations.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's where our concerns are, but nevertheless, I'm stoked.
I mean, they got a ticket sale from me already.
My hope would be, I hope it's the last Top Gun, and I
Yeah.
said as a Top Gun lover, I just don't want them to,
Dilute the
smear
brand.
the name. You
Yeah.
know? Exactly. So like, I know you haven't seen it, but Logan like does a really good job. Won't spoil it, but like at the end of Logan, with the little girl, I won't go into it much more, but it kind of set things up.
Okay.
With like laying the original story to rest. And I could see them doing something like that, like what you're alluding to, like pass the baton to Miles Teller and Glenn Powell, two big younger movie stars.
I mean, even Bob, right? Oh, I forget.
That's right, Bill Pullman's son. Yeah.
And what's the one was Phoenix, right?
Yeah,
Phoenix and
Phoenix.
Bob. She was great too. Bring her back.
Everybody was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like you said, how many But the thing is, the action's so cool that honestly, if they did just make a 2-hour movie of just dog
random
fighting,
people, I know.
I'd watch it 800 times.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah, so it's tough, but
Yeah, so overall, do you think that, I mean, we're getting it either way, but do you think it's justified to make a third Top Gun? Like, are you excited for it, or are you nervous?
I'm excited, but if you had to, like, before them releasing it, I would say, if you ask me, I would say no, I hope they didn't. And like I said, I'm not a hater. I'm just,
Yeah.
I don't want them to ruin a great thing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's where I am. I think I obviously want them to make another movie because of how great, the second one came out, but I am kind of like, how many times can you strike gold? Last question before we get into our segment.
Yeah.
Are you buying the Maverick Top Gun popcorn?
Honestly, like, I never once have bought any one of those, but it looks pretty sick. That's AMC exclusive though, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. But no, I know you like the props.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I was
Give
gonna
me the
say.
popcorn buckets. I'm here for it. Dune led the way.
That's right.
I love the ability to own a part of the movie. To me, as stupid as it sounds, me owning a little Spotlight Batman popcorn bucket, I'm like, I can own a piece of the movie.
Yeah.
Or some sort of memorabilia from it.
Well, I know, like, you sent me a tweet last week or something like that about movie posters, right?
Yeah.
And, like, I think one of the more memorable experiences with seeing Avengers Endgame was they gave you a poster with, like, the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, agreed. Not only does it remind you of the movie, but it reminds you of you seeing the movie with whoever you were.
Right.
The time period, like you said, 4 years ago already, Top Gun Maverick was. So now...
When you said 2022, I was like, what?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then what'd they say, 2027 for the next one?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so 5 years later, like you said, Cruise is like 63, but no, I think the Maverick helmet, that might be a purchase.
Yeah?
We'll see how
You're going
inflation,
Goose or Maverick?
We'll see how inflation goes.
We'll see in a week if, what goes on.
I can't imagine the cost of jet fuel, let alone regular fuel.
Can I just get some macaroni and gravy? Gravy. Tomato sauce.
So we're gonna introduce a new segment. It's called Sunday Sauce Sit Down, and we're gonna pick whether it be an actor or director, and kind of envision, like, if you were out to dinner with the guy or girl, what would you ask them?
Yeah.
So,
well, Tom Cruise is obviously the guy that we're taking out because
absolutely.
we're talking about Top Gun.
Yeah.
I think my biggest question that I've always wanted to ask him or anyone is, like, how'd you get your big break? Like, what did you do to get that one chance? And he might have answered in other things, but I would love to hear, like,
what was it, Cocktail or that was
yeah,
his big break?
I think so.
Yeah.
But, like, prior to that, were you going to all these auditions? Were you
Risky Business, another one of them.
What was it?
Yeah.
What do you feel like was the deciding factor that got you from the Tom Cruise then to, like, the Tom Cruise now?
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest questions. And I know you get the same thing, hard work, never give up, but I want to be like, no, like, what'd you do?
Everybody's story is different, we all know, like, Sylvester Stallone with Rocky and stuff like that, but I definitely think, for, like you said, one of the biggest movie stars, like, because he was so passionate about it.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's a good question.
And how did you accomplish it?
Yeah.
Right? Like, were you working? I want to know, like, details. Like, did you work 90 hours a week? Because I know how obsessed he was about film.
Yeah.
He said, I'd go to the movie theater, like, every day.
He loved it.
Loved it. And
And that's why we love him.
Right.
But no, that's a good one. I think my question to him, I'm gonna take a different route. I would ask him, like, because again, he loves making great movies, but we never really saw him in a comedy. What went in his mind when he became Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder? Because that is one of the best movie characters ever. He had, like, such a small part, but I think he's, like, the biggest, like, takeaway from that movie. Everybody knows, take a step back and fuck your own face. Like, that's one of the best fucking scenes from any movie ever, honestly.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, what went into his mind to go through all the hours of makeup and making his hands, like, twice the size. Like, dude, that, and I know there's been rumors of, like, a spin-off series with him, but that would be one of the questions.
That's
I'd
great.
ask him.
That's a good one. Because obviously, almost all of his movies are serious.
Yeah.
Or, like, that's a complete 180.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. And then I think a cool part of this segment would be, like, guessing what that person would get to eat when they're out.
Okay.
So Tom Cruise, right? I feel like
Tom Cruise strikes me as a fancy eater.
I was gonna say he's got to have, like, not like a pescatarian, but he's got to have, like, some, like, Scientology guy.
I was thinking like a surf and turf.
Okay.
I could see him being like upper echelon, like really nice fillet and a lobster tail or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's definitely like a guy.
I could see like a very lean meal though too, like you were saying.
Like he's definitely a guy who has like a unique order. You know what I mean? Like he's an orange juice, no pulp. You know. He's like, I like my eggs over easy, you know, just very, very specific. Very specific.
Orange juice, no pulp.
You know, I mean, he's so meticulous. So like,
that's another question I'd love to ask him. How regimented are you in all aspects of your life? Because I know he almost has like OCD or something where like, even down to the stunts. Like, you know how many times I watched, he's doing the motorcycle jump off of
the cliff. How many motorcycles they destroyed?
And they kept doing it and doing it. I'm like, dude, the first one was sick.
I know.
He's like, we can do it
Well,
better.
he jumped out of an airplane like 53 times from Mission Impossible.
Honorable mention, lighting your parachute on fire and jumping out of the plane while it's on fire has to be, everyone says all the other stunts, that to me is the craziest. I know he had another one. That's the craziest stunt. I don't care what you say.
That, you could
Holding on to the...
I was going to say, that one is, like, I'm scared of heights. I will admit that. That is psychotic. I mean, everything he does is psychotic. He broke his ankle freaking filming Mission Impossible. Riding that motorcycle at 150 miles an hour.
Yeah. But when I saw in theaters watching that fucking... And knowing, I'm like, that's real. Like, he lit that shit on
Well, that's
fire.
the best part. That's why, like, I don't want to say he'll still do real stuff in Top Gun 3, but that's why, like, missing Kaczynski, because he captured the realism. But
if you guys want to leave any comments on movies we should check out, or
any ideas,
stuff you want to hear us talk about. I know obviously this is our first episode, so we're just kind of getting used to doing the whole thing, but we're gonna have fun with it. That's the biggest thing.
All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yep.